Now what will happen? Come here. During muscle contraction, which one of the following events occur? Right? What kinds of events are there? H zone disappear. Correct. A band widens. No. At the time of muscular contraction, right? See here. I band reduces in width. Right? Width of A band is unaffected. Width of A band is unaffected, correct, right? And the last one, M line and Z line comes closer, correct. So the answer at the time, what the events which occurs at the time of muscular contraction is 1, 3, 4 and 5. That is answer is A. Clear? Now come to the next question, that is 17th. That information is given in NCERT page number 303, that is 20.2, and 104 and 105, that is in the chapter of structural organization in animals in muscular tissue portion, right? Which one of the following statement is incorrect, right? So what will happen? The smooth muscles are found in urinary bladder, alimentary canal and genital tract. It's right, because they are the involuntary muscles. We are not able to control the urinary bladder contraction or the alimentary canal movements, that is the peristalsis movement or the genital tract, right? A striated muscle is the syncytium, that is multinucleate structure. Exactly, it is correct, right? The cytoplasm of striated muscle is called endoplasm. No. Muscles cytoplasm is called the sarcoplasm. Clear? So this is incorrect statement. And the plasma membrane and endoplasmic reticulum of striated muscles are called the sarcolemma and sarcoplasmic reticulum respectively. Exactly, this is also correct. So the answer is, in terms of incorrect statement, the answer is C, right? Come to the next. Which one of the following statement about striated muscle is incorrect, right? That information is given in page number 304 and 305 in NCERT, right? In the center of each eye band there is an elastic fiber Z line which bisect it. It is right, exactly. The thin filament are firmly attached to the Z line. Exactly, that is the actin filaments. The M line is a fibrous membranous in the middle of A band. It is correct. So what is incorrect? There is no incorrect statement. So the answer is D, right? So just because of that, asking about the incorrect statement, right? So the answer is D. Clear? Now again, this is the diagram of actin filament, right? These you can see here, these are the three regulatory proteins, complex protein, right? These are the three combination of the three regulatory protein, and that is known as the troponin, right? This is known as the troponin. That B is the tropomyosin, right? Which comes which run along the length of the F actin, filamentous actin, right? So that B is tropomyosin, and that C is F actin, that is filamentous actin, which is made up of the G monomeric globular protein, right? So now what will happen? See that troponin is present at the regular interval of the tropomyosin. Clear? So A is troponin, that is given in, that is A option is cancelled. B, C and D is the maybe in between, the answer is in between them, right? B is the tropomyosin. Tropomyosin is given in C and D option, that is B is also cancelled, and C, that is F-actin, and F-actin is given in the option D, that is C option is also cancelled. So the answer is the D, right? Come to the next question, that is match the column structural and functional unit of myofibril is the sarcomere, right? That is given in only one option, so answer is D, right? The protein of thin filament, that is the actin. The protein of thick filament, that is the myosin. And the central part of thick filament not overlapped by the thin filament, that is called the edge zone. Clear? So the answer is D. This is the cross-sectional view of the muscle, right, which is given in NCERT page number 302, figure number 20.2, right? What is that one? That one shows the fascicles. It shows the fascicle, which is also known as the muscle bundle, right? That too is the blood capillaries. That 3 is the sarcolemma. And that 4th one is the muscle fibers, right? Muscle fibers, or we can say the muscle cells. Right. So 1, 3 and 4 respectively. One is the fascicle or the muscle bundle, right? It is given in only that C option. 3 is the sarcolemma and the 4th one is the muscle fiber. So the answer is C, right? So the answer is C. Come to the next question. You can see here, this is the diagram, right? Human skeletal system is made up of, that information is given in NCERT page number 309, right? The 206 bone, correct? 120 bones and cartilages, no. 206 and few cartilages, the more appropriate answer. See here, if I just to read that first option, if I take that particular, right? So, and not read the all options, right? So what will happen? My question gets wrong, right? So you have to read all the options carefully, right? Sometimes the more appropriate answer is given in the another options also, right? So first you have to learn that, you have to read the all options carefully. So the correct answer is that is 206 bones and the few cartilages, right? And 86 cartilages, 120 bones, no, wrong, right? So in that case the answer is C. The principal division of the human skeletal system, right? The human skeletal system is divided into the appendicular skeleton and the axial skeleton, right? Appendicular skeleton, that is 126 bones, and axial skeleton consists of the 80 bones, right? So the answer is, according to that question, the answer is the axial skeleton, right? That is 23. Answer is Bombay. The next is, which one of the following group constitutes the appendicular and the axial skeleton respectively, right? According to that question, appendicular and axial skeleton respectively. Appendicular Appendicular, right? That means sternum girdle, no. Right? Skull and limbs, no. Vertebral column and ribs, no. So answer is D. Clear? The girdle and the skull bone. Skull bones are the axial, right? Girdles are the appendicular. Here the series is wrong and sternum is not the appendicular, right? It is present at the axis. Clear? So this option is wrong. Skull, axial first, right? Then limbs, that is appendicular. Clear? So vertebral column, that is also the axial, right? So that option is also wrong, and in case of that is girdle and the skull bone. And we know that the girdle bones, there are two girdles present in our body, right? First one is the pectoral girdle, second is the pelvic girdle, right? That pectoral girdle is the combination of the scapula and clavicle. That pelvic girdle is the combination of the hip bone, which is also known as the coxal bone, and the femur, right? Clear? So these are the girdle bones, right? Now come to the next question. Identify the incorrect statement for the skull. Incorrect statement, right? It has two sets of bones, that is cranial and facial. It is correct. Clear? That's why according to NCERT it is mentioned that the two sets of bones, cranial that is 8 and facial that is 14, that is 22, and with 3 ear ossicles with 1 hyoid bone. So total number of bones are 29 in the skulls, right? Number of facial and cranial bone is 8 and 14. No. 14 is facial and 8 is cranium. So second option is incorrect. Hyoid bone is not included in the skull. Hyoid bone is included in the skull, right? So that is wrong. Total number of bone is 29. It is correct. So the incorrect statement for skull is 2 and 3. So answer is D, right? Now come to the next question. See here. That is the diagrammatic view of the human skull. That is frontal bone. This is the sphenoid bone, right? Ethmoid, the lacrimal, that is the nasal bone, zygomatic bone. These bones are the zygomatic bones. Mandible, maxilla, right? That is the frontal, parietal, temporal, occipital. Clear? So all these are the bones which are arranged in your skull. This is the diagram of NCERT and diagram figure number 20.6. Clear? Come to the next. Which one of the following bones are the part of internal ear? And as we know that internal ear has no bony structure like the malleus, incus and stapes. These are the structures of the middle ear. These are the ear ossicles which is present in the middle ear, right? This is present in the middle ear. Malleus, hammer shaped, incus, anvil shape, steps, stirrup shaped. Clear? So there is no one is the part of bones is a part of the internal ear, so the answer is D, that is none. Human skull is known as dicondylic skull because there are two types of condyles present in human body. Birds and reptiles have the monocondylic skull, right? Birds and reptiles have the monocondylic skull. Clear? That is one condyle, and we have the two condyles here, right? That's why we are called the human skull is the dicondylic. Identify the correct statement, right? We have to find the correct statement, and these lines are given at page number 310, that is 310, right? Human vertebral column has 26 vertebrae which are arranged ventrally. No. So that statement is incorrect. Each vertebrae has a central solid portion through which the spinal cord passes. Right or wrong? Central solid portion. This is wrong. First vertebrae is atlas and it articulates with the occipital condyle, and second vertebrae is the axis, right? C1, C2, atlas and axis, which forms the atlantoaxial joint, right? And the human vertebral column has the four curves, that is also right. So the correct statement is 3 and 4, so the answer is C. You can see here, these are the vertebrae, right? These are the arrangement of the vertebrae. The first curve is that, second curve, third curve, and the fourth curve. So 4 curves are there, right? These are the upper 7, these are upper 7, that is C1 to C7, that is cervical vertebrae. T1 to T12 thoracic vertebrae, and lumbar, that is L1 to L5, right? Sacrum and coccyx, these are the fused, that's why 1 1. Clear? Now come to the 29th question. The number of thoracic, cervical and lumbar vertebrae, 12, 7, 5. So the answer is 12, 7, 5. Answer is D. Clear? Name the flat bone situated on the ventral midline of the thorax, right? That is also given in NCERT. Flat bone, hyoid is not flat and it is not present in the thorax region, so that option is wrong, right? Eighth vertebrae is not flat. Vertebrae are not flat, right? So the answer is sternum. The sternum, that mid ventral, that is front, right? And that is the flat bone, na? That is the flat bone at the midline of the thorax. Is just like that. You can see it in that diagram. See here. That is the flat portion, right? Which is present in the midline of the thorax, right? That's what is called the sternum. That part is called the manubrium sternum, which is the flat portion. You can feel it, right? That is the media sternum, and that is called the Ziffy sternum or the xiphoid process, right? So sternum is divided into that three parts, and that portion of the media sternum, the ribs are attached here. Clear? Come to the next. Vertebral column performs which of the following functions? That exact line given in NCERT, that it protects the spinal cord, it supports the head, or it serves as the attachment for the ribs. Exactly. So the answer is D. Right? Which part of skeletal system forms the rib cage? Vertebrae, ribs, sternum, all forms the rib cage. You can see that diagram, right? That is the sternum from anterior portion, from back side these are the vertebral column, right? And these are the lateral, on the lateral surface, that is the ribs. So all three form a rib cage, na? Clear? That's why the answer is all. The true ribs are ventrally attached to the sternum by hyaline cartilage, right? By the hyaline cartilage. What is that hyaline cartilage? We already know that the hyaline cartilage is the most abundant cartilage which are present over the articular surfaces of the body, right? Clear? So hyaline cartilage is the answer. Elastin cartilage is present in the true vocal cords, the epiglottis, right? When we talk about the examples of the elastin cartilage, it is present in the epiglottis, true vocal cords, right? Eustachian tube, which is also known as the pharyngotympanic tube, right? Which is also known as the pharyngotympanic tube. Laryngeal and bronchiolar cartilages, right? So all these cartilages are the elastin cartilage, right? These are the elastin cartilage. Hyaline cartilage, that is the hyaline cartilage, tracheal rings, nasal septum, right? The articular surfaces, the margin of the sternum, all. Fibrous cartilage is present in between the vertebrae, right? It pubic symphysis, right? So these are, that's why, but according to that question, the answer is the hyaline cartilage, which is incomplete C-shaped cartilage, right? Now come to the next question. What is the name given to 8th, 9th and 10th pairs of ribs, right? 8th, 9th, 10th are called the false ribs. True ribs are the first 7 ribs. First 7 pairs are called the true ribs, right? Then 8th, 9th, 10th false ribs, correct. The vertebrochondral ribs also correct. Why? Because it is attached from posterior surface, dorsal surface, they are attached with the vertebrae, and from anterior surface they are attached with the hyaline cartilage, that is chondral. Clear? So that's why that is called the vertebrochondral ribs. So the answer is the D, both B and C. Clear? Floating ribs are, last 3 pairs of ribs, no, they are just 11th and 12th rib. Why they are called floating? Because they are attached from the posterior surface, but anteriorly they are float in the air, right? They are in the air without any support, so they do not articulate ventrally with anything. Right or wrong? Exactly. Ventrally they are not articulate with anything. That's why they are called the floating rib. And dorsally they are attached with the vertebral column. Right? That's why they are called the vertebral ribs. Right? That's why they are called the vertebrochondral ribs. Chondral ribs? No, they are called the vertebral ribs only because they are attached with the vertebrae. So the answer is both B and C. Which is not the part of the forelimb and hind limb respectively. Forelimb, that is humerus and the femur, is the part of the forelimb and hind limb fibula and ulna, tibia, fibula and radius ulna. So fibula is present in the hind limb portion, right, and ulna is present in the forelimb. So respectively that is wrong, carpals and the tarsals, right, radius and tibia, right. So the answer is Bombay. Clear? Cup-shaped bone patella covers the knee, right, which forms the kneecap, and it is the modification, or we can say it is the best example for the sesamoid bone, right. So answer is Bombay. All these are cancelled. Sesamoid bone is formed by the, this is a question of pre-medical, it is formed by the ossification of tendon by the bones, right? Clear? Come to the next. Choose the incorrect statement about the clavicle. Clavicle, that is called the collar bone, which is also known as the beauty bone, right? It is commonly called collar bone, right? It articulates with the acromion process, right? Right, that portion. Clear? It is a long slender bone with 3 curves. No, they have the 2 curvatures, and it's clear. So that option is wrong. So incorrect statement. So the answer is the C, right? So answer is the C. All these statements are correct, but in that question incorrect statement is asked. So the answer is C. Clear? Come to the next one. Which bone fuses to form coxal bone? Coxal bone, that is the hip bone, right? And hip bone is formed by the fusion of 3 bones, that is ilium, ischium and the pubis, right? Ilium, ischium and the pubis. So the answer is C. Remember one thing, in hip bone the ilium spelling is I-L-E-U-M, not I-L-E-U-M. That is the part of the small intestine, right? Now come to the next one, that is the pectoral girdle. Pectoral girdle, that is related with the glenoid cavity. Pelvic girdle is related with the acetabulum. Pubic symphysis, that is the fibrous cartilage. Because pubic symphysis is made up of the white fibrous cartilage, which is the strongest cartilage of our body, right? And between the ribs and sternum, hyaline cartilage. So 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 3, 3 and 4, 4, 3, 3 and 4, 4. So the correct answer is Bombay, right? Another options are cancelled. Come to the next one. Ball and socket joint. It forms just like a ball, and that is the socket, right? So the movement of that kind of joint is just at 360 degree, right? So ball and socket joint is present in between the atlas axis, knee joint, humerus, pectoral, carpus. So the answer 1, 3. Hinge joint, knee joint, pivot joint, atlas and axis, which forms that atlas and axis, right? The girdle joint, gliding joint, that is the carpal and metacarpal of the gliding joint, that is the carpals, right? And saddle joint, that is present in between the carpal and the metacarpal. So the answer is 1, 3 in those options, 2, 2 in given both, 3, 1, 1 given both, 4th gliding joint, that is 4th. So the answer is C. Clear? Now come to the next one, 42. Synarthrosis, syn that is together, arthros that is jointed. Clear? So these are the immovable, right? These are the immovable joints. Synarthrosis are the immovable joints, right? So the one is D. Amphiarthrosis, amphi, that is partially movable. Diarthrosis, freely movable. Study of joints, that is arthrology. Clear? So 1D 2C, 1D 2C is given in both A and C, so these options are cancelled. 1D 2C 3B 4A, so answer is C. Match the column. Arthritis, itis, that is inflammation. Inflammation is given in that, and arthros, that is jointed. So first is D. Gout, deposition of uric acid in joints, that is gout. Osteoporosis, that is bone loss minerals. And osteomalacia is the disease which occurs in adults due to the deficiency of vitamin D, right? That is, the answer is 4. So the correct option is 1D, that is given in 3 option. Bombay is cancelled. 2C, 1D and 2C is given in A and D, right? 3B, that is A, also cancelled. That means the answer is D. Clear? Come to the next. Monocondylic skull. Monocondylic skull is present in the reptiles, birds and the fishes also, right? So the one is D. Dicondylic skull. Dicondylic skull is present in amphibians and the mammals, that is 2C. Kinesiology, that is study of the movement because kinetic energy is required, right? And syndesmology, that is where the junction, syndesmo, right? So the study of the tendons and the ligaments. Yes, exactly. Clear? So 1D in 3 options, D is cancelled. 2C in both these options, so C is also cancelled. 3B only given in the that Bombay, so answer is Bombay. The special fibrous joint occurring exclusively in the skull, which is the tightest type of the joint, right? When they talk about the skull, the answer is the sutures, right? Actually, see here. Actually, here the white fibrous cartilaginous joints are present here, right? These are called the sutures. This is called the coronal suture, right? This is the lambdoid suture. Clear? So these are the types of the sutures which is present in our, right? And here a soft area is present which is called the fontanelle. Clear?